Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine, and today we have an upper intermediate level lesson all about money.
That's right. We are going to be talking about money, but most importantly, we need to start saving money. We need to spend less.
Exactly. So in order to control spending, today we're talking about budgeting. So let's take a look at this very important word in today's vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
All right. So as you mentioned, budgeting is, what is to budget?
To budget, that's the verb. So budgeting is deciding how to spend your money, okay? So that means that we prepare a plan for how to spend money.
All right, so that can be a noun and a verb. A budget is the plan on how you're going to spend money, and to budget is to execute this plan.
Exactly. So today we're budgeting a family's spending. We're trying to control how much this family will spend in the future.
All right, very good. So why don't we listen to this dialogue for the first time? Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Carnwell. Please take a seat.
Thank you.
So I understand that your family spending has skyrocketed and you want to start budgeting.
Yes, that's correct. Frankly speaking, our household income is relatively high, and we have never had any money problems. But I think this is the main reason as to why our spending has gone out of control.
We have 2 kids, and with allowances, paying their credit cards, ours, and not to mention our mortgage and car payments, with the recent economic downturn, my husband's business has suffered, and now we need some advice as how we can prepare a family budget.
I see. Well, you have come to the right place. First, what we need to do is determine your cash flow. Knowing how much money is coming in will help us allocate spending to different categories such as mortgage, education, groceries, etc.
Yes, that makes sense.
Secondly, I need you to bring all of your receipts for the last 2 to 3 months. That way we can determine what your average expenditures are and see which category you're spending money on the most. Usually, your fixed costs are higher and we can't do much about that. But we can usually trim your variable costs, such as entertainment or clothing.
Great! We will do that then. Now how about we treat you to a nice dinner?
That's another thing. If you really want to stop spending so much money, throw away at least half of your credit cards. All right, we're back. So there were some interesting words and phrases in this dialogue related to budgeting and a lot of, financial terms here. So let's get started now on language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
This first term is very important because it tells us what kind of a budget we're talking about. We're not talking about a company here. We're talking about a family.
Right.
And so in this case, we use the phrase household. Okay, so what are we talking about? Household income.
All right. So income, we know, is the amount of money that comes in to maybe your wallet, right? My income, my personal income.
That's how much money you earn.
Okay. So a household income is how much money the house earns. So all the people that are living in this house, right?
That's right. So it could be a family. It could be 2 married people who are married to each other. So the idea is that it's not one person's income. It's the household income. Think of a house.
All right, so it's the combined income of everyone that's living there, or that's making money that lives in this house.
Right, so if Marco and I have a household, I earn $10,000 and he earns $10,000. Our household income is $20,000.
Very good. All right. So then now we know that what our household income is, and in this case we have children, and we give our kids an allowance.
Okay, so I had an allowance when I was a kid. This is the amount of money I got from my parents every week. So I get, I think, $10 a week, and I could spend it on anything I wanted. And I didn't have to work because my parents gave the money to me. Okay. And so an allowance is this money. It's the money that mom and dad give to their children, maybe every month or maybe every week.
Now, it's not only related to children, right? Because maybe if you have a brother, or maybe you're married and your wife is a housewife, maybe you give her an allowance, right? Or the opposite. Maybe you're a house husband and you get an allowance from your wife.
That's right. You can have an allowance if you're anyone. You can also have an allowance from your company if you go traveling. So if you have a business trip, your company gives you a food allowance. That's the amount of money you can spend on food. And you don't have to work for it. That's the best part.
Awesome. All right. So after these allowances, they were talking about, well, how the economic downturn has affected their income and their spending.
Okay, so down, you think this is a negative thing. You're right. Downturn means when a situation gets worse, okay, or slows down. And in this case, the economy is what got worse. And you remember this from last year. Things started to get very difficult for people who are in business. And this has affected families. And so we call the situation an economic downturn.
Now, the opposite would maybe an economic boom.
That's right. A boom is when things are going well. That means people are earning more money. There are more jobs.
All right, very good. And now moving on, as they were talking about budgeting, they mentioned this very important word, very technical, is to allocate money into different areas.
That's right, or allocate spending. This is a verb, to allocate. That means to decide where the money will go. Okay, so as the mother in a family, I will allocate 10% of the money to the children's allowances. That's a lot. 50% to the mortgage, 20% to the car.
Okay.
Car repairs.
So you're allocating your spending.
That's right. I'm deciding where to spend the money.
Okay. And well, talking about spending, we have this word expenditures.
Expenditures. And so this is a really important word if you're in business as well, because we consider expenditures when we're talking about how much a company earns. Expenditures are things that we spend money on. So remember that word expenditures, spend.
Okay, so an expenditure. And this is a noun, and usually it's in the plural, expenditures.
Exactly, expenditures. So we have many expenditures at my house. Among them, we have the car, the rent, healthcare, things like that.
Okay, perfect. So really good phrases there, really good vocabulary items. Why don't we move on now to Fluency Builder?
Fluency Builder.
We've got some very fun phrases today, Marco, in Fluency Builder. This first one is a very common phrase that we hear in songs and movies.
To skyrocket. All right. What is skyrocket?
Well, you think about a rocket, that's a ship that goes to space. To skyrocket means to go up really high, really fast.
Okay.
The price of gas has skyrocketed. So I remember when I was a kid, gas used to be 98 cents a gallon.
Wow, really?
And in the 2000s, the price skyrocketed, and it ended up being like $4 a gallon.
Yeah, it was really expensive. All right, so this is also, you can talk about sales have skyrocketed, or the price of petroleum has skyrocketed.
So it could be a good thing or a bad thing depending on what you're talking about.
All right. And now moving on, they said that their spending was out of control.
Yeah, so this family doesn't seem to understand how to budget. They spend on everything. And so the accountant says that your spending is out of control. That means that you're spending too much. There's no order to the way that you're spending.
And we actually have a previous lesson called Out of Control Spending, that we also touched this topic of what we talk about out of control. Something is out of control. A person can be out of control.
Like a child. This child is out of control. He never stops screaming and hitting people.
All right. And our last phrase for today, the accountant says, well, you've come to the right place.
Okay, this is the accountant bragging. He's saying, well, I can fix your problems. I can help you. You've come to the right place. You can use this in many different ways. For example, I have a problem maybe with my TV, and I say, Marco, oh my gosh, my TV doesn't work. I don't know what to do. Can you help?
Right, and I can say, well, you've come to the right place. I can fix your TV.
Marco's an expert in electronics.
All right, so you've come to the right place. It's a very common phrase, especially as you say when somebody's trying to brag and say, well, I know how to fix your problems, or I know what you need.
I'm good at this. You've come to the right place. If you want to learn English, you've come to the right place.
Exactly.
Englishpod.com.
All right, so let's listen to our dialogue for the last time. Welcome, Mr. and Mrs. Carnwell. Please take a seat.
Thank you.
So I understand that your family spending has skyrocketed and you want to start budgeting.
Yes, that's correct. Frankly speaking, our household income is relatively high, and we have never had any money problems. But I think this is the main reason as to why our spending has gone out of control.
We have 2 kids, and with allowances, paying their credit cards, ours, and not to mention our mortgage and car payments, with the recent economic downturn, my husband's business has suffered, and now we need some advice as how we can prepare a family budget.
I see. Well, you have come to the right place. First, what we need to do is determine your cash flow. Knowing how much money is coming in will help us allocate spending to different categories such as mortgage, education, groceries, etc.
Yes, that makes sense.
Secondly, I need you to bring all of your receipts for the last 2 to 3 months. That way we can determine what your average expenditures are and see which category you're spending money on the most. Usually, your fixed costs are higher and we can't do much about that, but we can usually trim your variable costs such as entertainment or clothing.
Great! We will do that then. Now how about we treat you to a nice dinner?
That's another thing. If you really want to stop spending so much money, throw away at least half of your credit cards. All right, we're back. So now talking about allowances. You said you had an allowance when you were a kid. Did you really have a $10 a week allowance?
No, I think it was like 8. It started out at $6 or $5 a week, and then I think the most I got was like 10 or 11.
Oh, wow. So it was like almost about $1 a day.
About that, but usually the point was that, well, I started working when I was 15 because my parents thought it was important for children to learn how money works. But I was given that money because at the time, it was enough money to go out one night. So on Friday nights, if I wanted to go out with my friends, I could go out to watch a movie and get a slice of pizza, and $10 was enough. Okay. Now $10 doesn't even buy you a ticket to the movie, but at the time it was more than enough.
So this is important, I guess, because different families have different ways of upbringing their children, and in many cases this doesn't happen, right? If I want to go out to the movies on a Saturday, then my parents will give me $30, and if I want to go out next weekend, they'll also give me money. So it's interesting to see the contrast, because obviously when I was a kid also I didn't really get this opportunity of going out all the time, and actually I had to work for it. So if I wanted to go out on the weekend, I would get an allowance, but also I would have to wash the car. That was typical with my dad. I had to wash the car.
Well, I think it's interesting because it shows that the parents want to teach their children about budgeting. Because if you only have $10, you really have to budget. You have to decide how you will allocate that money, even though it's not very much. So in some ways, it's good practice.
Yeah, it is. I think it's done us well. We're not in debt.
Not yet.
All right. So let us know how allowances work in your country, or maybe did you have an allowance when you were a kid? A lot of people didn't have an allowance. I know a lot of friends didn't get allowances. So come to our website, englishpod.com, and if you have any other questions or doubts, please leave them there as well.
We hope to hear from you. Until next time. Bye everyone.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Rise rapidly, as in price. Skyrocket. Beyond the ability to direct the actions of something. Out of control. Plan the way to spend money in order to save more. Budget. Assign. Allocate. To be honest. To say it directly. Frankly speaking.
Let's try that faster.
Assign. Allocate. Beyond the ability to direct the actions of something. Out of control. To be honest. To say it directly. Frankly speaking. Plan the way to spend money in order to save more. Budget. Rise rapidly, as in price. Skyrocket.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Skyrocket. The ratings for this TV show have skyrocketed in the past month. Skyrocket. Her popularity skyrocketed after she won the competition. Skyrocket. The company's profits skyrocketed with their new advertising campaign. Out of control. I really need to learn how to budget because my spending is out of control. Out of control. Her anger was out of control when she learned that they had killed him. Out of control. His driving was out of control. Budget. My roommates and I really need to start budgeting the money we spend on food. Budget. Her family has started to budget the money they spend on shopping. Budget. He needs to start budgeting his time better. Allocate. The teacher allocated tasks to different students. Allocate. I need to allocate my study time between my different courses. Allocate. He allocated the prize money to different charities. Frankly speaking. Frankly speaking, you should break up with him. Frankly speaking. Frankly speaking, the government is just trying to get away with raising taxes again. Frankly speaking. To be frank, I don't think this is a good decision.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine, and we've got a great lesson for you today. What level is this, Marco?
This is an elementary lesson, and we're going to be touching one of these medical topics. Today, we're going to talk about chicken pox.
Oh, gosh, I hated the chicken pox. They're horrible, and they itch, and you can't do anything about it, and your parents say, don't scratch.
Right. So chicken pox is a illness that you get usually as a child. And what happens is you start getting these little red dots all over your body. like little mosquito bites.
Exactly. And they come all over your body, like your arms, legs, face. And you can only get this disease once unless maybe you didn't really get it too seriously. So most people get this when they're children.
Exactly. And what makes you very uncomfortable when you get chickenpox, as you said, it's these little red dots. They itch just like mosquito bites, but you can't scratch because if you do, then your skin gets like marked, right? You have like stains
Forever,
like scars. So it's best not to scratch. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Somebody has the chicken pox. So let's listen to our dialogue for the first time, and then we'll be right back.
What's wrong with you? Why are you scratching so much?
I feel itchy. I can't stand it anymore. I think I may be coming down with something. I feel lightheaded and weak.
Let me have a look. Whoa, get away from me.
What's wrong?
I think you have chicken pox. You're contagious. Get away. Don't breathe on me.
Maybe it's just a rash or an allergy. We can't be sure until I see a doctor.
Well, in the meantime, you're a biohazard. I didn't get it when I was a kid, and I've heard that you can even die if you get it as an adult.
Are you serious? You always blow things out of proportion. In any case, I think I'll go take an oatmeal bath.
Ew.
All right, we're back. So I think this kid does have the chicken pox.
Definitely. And, well, he's got a funny solution for it. But before we get there, we've got a lot of great medical words and just basic body words for you in today's language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so let's start with our first word. He mentioned that he felt itchy. I feel itchy.
Itchy. So, okay, this is often confused, even among children who are native speakers of English. There are two words, to itch and to scratch. But this person is itchy, so it means that your skin, you want to scratch it. It's maybe uncomfortable.
Okay.
Like a mosquito bite is itchy.
Okay, so itchy would be the adjective, right? To the noun, an itch. So if you have an itch, you feel itchy, right?
Exactly.
So, and that's when you scratch. All right, so
Hopefully not.
He feels itchy, and he also felt a little bit lightheaded.
Okay, so you know the word head, you know the word light. So here we have a person who feels lightheaded. It means that you kind of feel a little bit strange and your head is a little bit, well, what's a good word to
Like
describe
dizzy.
it? Yeah, almost dizzy or faint.
Right. So you usually feel a little bit weak. You don't really feel very well. Your head is lightheaded. The complete opposite of having a headache, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And, well, then the girl got scared and she said, "Get away. You are contagious."
Oh gosh, now this is a dangerous one. Someone who is contagious can pass their illness to someone else. So, for example, the flu is very contagious. And if I have the flu, Marco doesn't want me to, come over and touch all of
Sneeze
his
on
stuff
top of
and
me.
sneeze and cough into his food.
Right. Exactly. So that's contagious. It's an adjective, and that means that you easily pass your illness to another person.
Exactly.
All right, so why don't we take a look at a couple of different examples using this word contagious.
Have you noticed so many people are getting sick lately?
Yeah, it's getting bad. I heard it's really contagious.
That's the scary part. One cough, and it spreads.
Exactly, and some people still come to work sick.
I don't get it. They know it's contagious.
Maybe they think it's just a small cold.
Even a cold can spread quickly.
True, and not everyone has a strong immune system.
That's why I'm being extra careful.
Me too. I'm washing my hands all the time.
Same here. I avoid touching my face too.
Good idea. Germs spread easily that way.
Yeah. And masks help, but not everyone wears them.
I know. It's frustrating. A contagious illness can affect everyone.
Exactly. It's not just about one person.
Staying home when sick is the least people can do.
Agreed. We all need to look out for each other.
All right, so you want to avoid contagious people, but you might also want to avoid people who have this next word. It's called a rash.
A rash, exactly. So why do you want to avoid people who have a rash?
Well, they might have a contagious rash. Who knows? But you can get a rash for a number of different reasons. A rash is just basically a part of your skin that becomes irritated or uncomfortable, and sometimes it turns red or pink.
Exactly. So, as you said, it happens for different reasons. Sometimes you maybe have bad seafood in your skin and you start to have rashes all over your body.
Other times you can touch some plants that are dangerous, like poison ivy or poison oak.
And then you get a big rash. And our last word for today is a little bit dramatic. She called him a biohazard.
Biohazard. Well, let's take a look at these words individually. The first word, bio, comes from the word biology. So that's something that is alive. An animal, a plant, or person. And hazard is something that is dangerous. So a biohazard is something that's alive that's dangerous.
Right. Or that's dangerous towards a living person, right? Or organism. For example, you don't want to be near an area that has a lot of radiation. It's a biohazard.
Exactly. Or some of these diseases like Ebola virus. These are very dangerous towards living things. And so biohazard is the name for it.
Exactly. And usually there's a symbol, a very clear symbol that kind of looks like a triangle and it's red. And even in movies, it's appeared, right? I think in that movie.
Yellow?
It's red or yellow.
Yeah, sometimes both.
All right, so biohazard. I think we've taken a look at a lot of words, so why don't we listen to this dialogue again? Let's slow it down a little bit, see if we can understand a little bit more.
What's wrong with you? Why are you scratching so much?
I feel itchy. I can't stand it anymore. I think I may be coming down with something. I feel lightheaded and weak.
Let me have a look. Whoa. Get away from me.
What's wrong?
I think you have the chicken pox. You're contagious. Get away. Don't breathe on me.
Maybe it's just a rash or an allergy. We can't be sure until I see a doctor.
Well, in the meantime, you are a biohazard. I didn't get it when I was a kid, and I've heard that you can even die if you get it as an adult.
Are you serious? You always blow things out of proportion. In any case, I think I'll go take an oatmeal bath.
Ew.
All right, we're back. So now why don't we take a look at Fluency Builder and start taking a look at all these phrases.
Fluency Builder.
Well, the first one is something that we often say when we're starting to feel ill. This phrase is coming down with. So I could say, I think I'm coming down with a cold, for example.
So basically you say, I'm coming down with something. So a cold, or I think I'm coming down with the flu. So you're saying that I think I'm getting ill?
Exactly. It means I'm just starting to feel sick. And so you could say, I've had a cold for a week. You wouldn't use the phrase I'm coming down with in this situation. You'd only use it when you're starting to feel sick.
Very good.
So you could ask your boss, I think I'm coming down with the flu. Can I go home early?
Right. And I think this is a very useful phrase. It's very natural to say. So why don't we listen to a couple of other examples?
Have you noticed more people are getting sick lately?
Yeah, a lot of them came down with something last week.
It's spreading fast. I think it's really contagious.
Definitely. Even our boss is coming down with it now.
Seriously? He seemed fine yesterday.
Yeah, but this morning, he came down with a fever.
That's not good. People need to stay home if they're coming down with something.
I know. If they don't, it just spreads to everyone else.
It's how half the office came down with it in the first place.
Exactly. And some people don't realize they're coming down with something until it's too late.
That's the worst part. They feel fine, but they're already contagious.
Yeah, one person comes down with it, and suddenly it's everywhere.
That's why I'm being super careful.
Same here. I don't want to come down with anything.
Let's just hope this wave passes soon.
Fingers crossed. No one wants to keep coming down with illnesses.
All right, so coming down with the flu, coming down with a cough. etc. All right, what's our next phrase?
Well, this one's great. It's a filler phrase. So, in the meantime.
In the meantime.
So I could say, all right, I'm going to go cook dinner. In the meantime, Marco, can you please clear the table?
Okay, so while you are cooking dinner, I am doing something else. I'm cleaning the table.
So two things happening at the same time.
In the meantime. Very good. So it's a filler, you say?
Because usually it follows another phrase. So I'm going to be doing this report for a while. In the meantime, can you just wait here on the sofa, please?
Okay. Very good.
But in the meantime.
So you're connecting two different actions, two different ideas.
Exactly.
Very good. In the meantime. And what about our last phrase?
All right. There are some people who really like to do this, and I might be one of them. It's called to blow things out of proportion.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you're going to hear this phrase a lot with native English speakers. And so to blow things out of proportion, well, it pretty much means that you're exaggerating or you're making a really big deal out of something that's not very serious.
So, for example, if you come over to my house and you break a glass and I start freaking out and yelling at you because you broke my glass.
I say, Marco, you're blowing things out of proportion. I'll just buy you a new one. It's not that serious.
All right, so don't exaggerate, right?
Right. So, oftentimes you feel like this with siblings, spouses, or bosses who react very seriously. So you can say, "Hey, stop yelling! Like you're blowing things out of proportion. This is not a really big deal."
Exactly. All right. So blowing things out of proportion. Let's not do that. But let's listen to our dialogue for the last time, and then we'll be back.
What's wrong with you? Why are you scratching so much?
I feel itchy. I can't stand it anymore. I think I may be coming down with something. I feel lightheaded and weak.
Let me have a look. Whoa, get away from me.
What's wrong?
I think you have chicken pox. You're contagious. Get away. Don't breathe on me.
Maybe it's just a rash or an allergy. We can't be sure until I see a doctor.
Well, in the meantime, you're a biohazard. I didn't get it when I was a kid, and I've heard that you can even die if you get it as an adult.
Are you serious? You always blow things out of proportion. In any case, I think I'll go take an oatmeal bath.
Ew.
All right, so Catherine, have you ever had the chicken pox?
I did. I have very, very clear memories of when I was a child and I had the chicken pox because I believe it was Thanksgiving. And I was about 4 or 5 years old. And I didn't have an appetite, so I was not hungry. And all I could do was itch and drink. And so I still have little scars, like you mentioned, from where I couldn't stop myself from scratching my little marks.
Right. And, well, why does the little boy say that he's going to go take a oatmeal bath?
An oatmeal bath. Okay, well, this is one of the home remedies, one of the home cures for the itchiness, all right? So it doesn't make your chickenpox go away, but it does make your skin feel better because it's very calming and smooth. So you can have some creams or some lotions, but other people like to take an oatmeal bath.
Right, so then you're not itching anymore.
Right, but it's gross because you're sitting in oatmeal. Ugh.
It is kind of gross.
Have you had the chickenpox?
I did. I didn't know. But because I couldn't remember, so actually my brother had it recently, so I was afraid that I didn't get it, but called my mom. She said I got it, so I'm good.
You're safe.
Yeah, so that's the thing, right? You can only get it once. So once you get it, you don't have a problem.
Well, we're curious to know, have you had the chicken pox? And if you did, was it really itchy, or were you a lucky one and it wasn't so bad?
Listen carefully.
Understanding illness and how to stay healthy. What is illness? Illness is when your body is not working the way it should. When you are healthy, you feel strong and full of energy. But sometimes, something can go wrong with your body and you feel weak, tired, or sick. This is called being ill or having an illness. Illness can happen to anyone. Children, teenagers, adults, and elderly people can all get sick. Sometimes, an illness lasts for a short time. This is called an acute illness. Examples of acute illnesses are the common cold, a headache, or a stomach ache. Other illnesses can last for a long time, and these are called chronic illnesses. Examples of chronic illnesses are diabetes, asthma, and high blood pressure. Types of illnesses. There are many different kinds of illnesses. Let's talk about some of the common ones. Infectious illnesses. These illnesses spread from one person to another. They're caused by bacteria, viruses, or fungi. Examples include the flu, cold, chickenpox, and COVID-19. Infectious illnesses can spread through touch, coughing, sneezing, or contact with dirty surfaces. Non-infectious illnesses. These illnesses do not spread from person to person. They are often caused by genetics, lifestyle, or environment. Examples include heart disease, cancer, and diabetes. Mental illnesses. These illnesses affect the mind and emotions. Examples include depression, anxiety, and stress. Causes of illness. Many things can cause illness. Let's look at some of the common causes. Germs. Bacteria and viruses are tiny creatures that can make us sick. They are everywhere, on our hands, in the air, and on things we touch. Poor nutrition. If you don't eat healthy food, your body can become weak. A weak body can get sick more easily. Lack of sleep. Your body needs rest to stay strong. If you don't sleep well, you may get sick more often. Stress. Too much stress can make you feel unwell. Stress affects both the body and mind. Lack of exercise. If you don't move and exercise, your body can become weak. Exercise helps keep your body strong and healthy. Pollution. Dirty air, water, and food can cause illness. Pollution can harm your body over time. How to prevent illness. Even though illness is common, there are many ways to stay healthy and avoid getting sick. Wash your hands. Washing your hands with soap and water can kill germs. Wash your hands before eating, after using the bathroom, and after touching dirty surfaces. Eat healthy foods. Eat fruits, vegetables, grains, and proteins. Healthy food gives your body the vitamins and energy it needs. Get enough sleep. Sleep helps your body to rest and recover. Try to sleep at least 7-8 hours each night. Exercise regularly. Moving your body helps you stay strong. Try to walk, run, or play sports for at least 30 minutes a day. Avoid stress. Try to relax and do things you enjoy. Taking breaks, talking to friends, and practicing deep breathing can help reduce stress. Stay away from sick people. If someone is sick, try to avoid close contact until they are better. This can help you stay healthy. Get vaccinations. Vaccines can protect you from many diseases like the flu or measles. Talk to your doctor about vaccines you need. What to do when you are sick. Sometimes, even if you are careful, you can still get sick. Here are some steps to help you feel better. Rest. Your body needs time to heal. Resting can help you recover faster. Drink water. Drinking water helps keep your body hydrated. This is important when you are sick. Take medicine. If a doctor gives you medicine, take it as they say. Do not take more or less than you are told. See a doctor. If you do not feel better after a few days, see a doctor. Doctors can help you understand what is wrong and give you the right treatment. Stay home. If you are sick, stay home so you don't spread your illness to others. A personal story of illness. Let's hear a story about a young girl named Sarah. Sarah was a happy 10-year-old girl who loved going to school and playing with her friends. One winter, she started feeling very tired and weak. She had a high fever and a sore throat. Her mother took her to the doctor. The doctor told them that Sarah had the flu. The doctor said Sarah needed to rest, drink a lot of water, and take some medicine. For the next few days, Sarah stayed in bed. Her mother gave her soup, water, and medicine. Sarah missed her friends and school, but she knew she had to stay home to get better. After 1 week, she felt strong again. She learned that taking care of her health was very important. Now she always washes her hands, eats healthy food, and gets enough sleep to avoid getting sick. Final thoughts. Illness is a part of life, but we can do many things to stay healthy and prevent sickness. By eating well, washing hands, sleeping enough, and exercising, we can make our bodies strong. If we do get sick, resting and following the doctor's advice can help us recover quickly. Remember, your health is one of the most important things you have. Take care of it, and you will feel happier and stronger every day.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. To rub your skin to stop an itch.
Scratch.
Influenza, a contagious virus.
Flu.
An unpleasant feeling on your skin makes you want to scratch.
Itchy.
A contagious common sickness.
Cold.
To become ill.
Come down with something.
A high body temperature caused by illness.
Fever.
To feel dizzy.
Lightheaded.
Feelings of upset stomach and dizziness caused by illness.
Nauseous.
A childhood disease that leaves red spots on the skin.
Chickenpox.
Having allergies to something.
Allergic.
Having a sickness that can be passed to someone else.
Contagious.
A skin irritation.
Rash.
Medical condition that causes someone to become sick after eating, touching, or breathing something.
Allergy.
For the present time.
In the meantime.
A harmful substance.
Biohazard.
To make something seem more serious.
Blow something out of proportion.
For the present time.
In the meantime.
Let's try that faster. Influenza, a contagious virus.
Flu.
A contagious common sickness.
Cold.
Having a sickness that can be passed to someone else.
Contagious.
A high body temperature caused by illness.
Fever.
An unpleasant feeling on your skin makes you want to scratch.
Itchy.
A harmful substance.
Biohazard.
To feel dizzy.
Lightheaded.
To become ill.
Come down with something.
A skin irritation.
Rash.
For the present time.
In the meantime.
To make something seem more serious.
Blow something out of proportion.
To rub your skin to stop an itch.
Scratch.
Medical condition that causes someone to become sick after eating, touching, or breathing something.
Allergy.
A childhood disease that leaves red spots on the skin.
Chickenpox.
Feelings of upset stomach and dizziness caused by illness.
Nauseous.
For the present time.
In the meantime.
Having allergies to something.
Allergic.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Scratch. Don't scratch that bug bite. Scratch. That cat just scratched me. Scratch. The mirror is scratched badly. Come down with something. Honey, will you take my temperature? I think I'm coming down with something. Come down with something. You must be coming down with a cold. Come down with something. Tommy came down with the flu. Contagious. Don't get near me. Chicken pox are very contagious. Contagious. The sickness that is going around the office is very contagious. Contagious. H1N1 flu is very contagious. Allergy. Johnny has so many food allergies. Allergy. I think I am allergic to your cat. Allergy. Take this medicine for your allergies. In the meantime. I'll take the trash out. In the meantime, you dry the clothes. In the meantime. He is still waiting for the test results. In the meantime, he is trying to find a job. In the meantime. There is nothing you can do about it now. In the meantime, try to be productive.
Hello, English learners, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine, and today we're talking about money, but this time we're talking about borrowing money.
Right, so we're asking for money. We're going to the bank, and we are asking for a loan. But before we go, why don't we take a look at vocabulary preview?
Vocabulary preview.
Okay, so a loan is some money that you get from the bank, so we're talking about requesting a loan today.
All right, so you request for a loan or you ask for a loan.
Exactly, so to request is to ask.
Okay, very good. And that's the word that we have for vocabulary preview, so let's listen to the dialogue for the first time.
Hello, sir. May I help you?
Yes, I would like some information for requesting a loan.
Very well. Here are the general terms of our loan policies. We pride ourselves in having the lowest interest rate in the country for personal loans.
I see. So let me get this straight. If I borrow, let's say, $10,000, how much will I have to pay each month?
It depends on how long you take to pay it back. If we lend you $10,000 at an annual interest rate of 10% for 48 months, you would have to pay each month a portion of the loan, which is called the principal, and another small portion of the annual interest rate. This, of course, is considering that you don't default on a payment.
It sounds good, but there's just one problem. I have a terrible credit score.
That is a very serious problem, you see. The bank must assess your personal information, past loans, assets, and any other relevant information, such as your credit score, in order to approve your loan.
You know what? I don't really need the money. Thanks anyways.
All right, we're back. So now why don't we take a look at some of the key words that we'll find in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, so on language takeaway today, we have a couple of different words. Why don't we start off with the loan policies?
Okay, so a policy is like a rule. For example, a government can have policies, but in this case, a loan policy is the rules regarding the loan that you have.
Right, so maybe the loan policies could include how long, what's the maximum length of your loan, or maybe what's the annual interest rate, etc.
How much you have to pay each month, like that.
Exactly.
So a loan policy is the rules related to the loan that you've taken out. And we have some very, very important words following this. They go together. So the first word is to borrow.
Okay, so you probably know this word already, to borrow. So can I borrow your pen? Can I borrow some money?
Sure, let me give you my pen. Let me give you my money.
Okay.
But wait, giving is different because giving means I don't have to get it back.
Right. So if you want to give it to someone temporarily, then you lend them your pen or you lend them some money.
Great. So to borrow is to take something from someone knowing that you will have to give it back later.
Right.
And to lend is to give it to someone, right? So can you lend me your pen? That means, can you give it to me, please?
Right. And this is a common mistake with language learners, especially English learners, that they make the mistake of using borrow instead of lend. So, can you borrow me some money? Right. So, can you lend me some money?
Sure, but I expect you to pay me back later.
Okay, very good. And if I pay you back later, I'll include an interest rate.
Will you really?
No, not really.
No, not really. Mostly it's banks that ask for an interest rate. So in this case, an interest rate means the amount of money that a bank will charge you in addition to the money that you owe them.
Exactly. So it's called an interest rate, and it's a rate because it's a percentage. So
like
it's
5%.
Exactly, 5-10%. That is an interest rate. And now moving on, if you have a loan and you have to pay each month, be careful to not default on your payments.
Okay, default. In the banking world, this means to not be able to pay your loan. So that means that if I owe $1,000 to you, Bank of Marco, and I don't have the money, I can't pay for it, then I default.
So to be late or to not make the payment.
It's a verb, to default.
Very good. And well, the person asking for the loan has a small problem. His credit score is not very good.
Okay, I think he calls it terrible. And one of the ways that you get a terrible credit score is by defaulting on a loan. But
Right.
it also means that maybe you borrow money or you have credit cards and you can't pay off your bills. And so a credit score is very important in America, and it's like a report card for your finances.
Right. So for example, if your credit score is a report card and you have an A credit score, that means that banks won't have a problem with lending you money. Or if you want to buy a new car, it'll be okay. But if you don't pay your bills on time or you default on your loans, then maybe you'll have a C or a D, and then people will not really lend you money in the future.
They won't trust you.
Exactly. All right, so that's credit score. That's all the words we have for Fluency Builder. Why don't we listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back shortly.
Hello, sir. May I help you?
Yes, I would like some information for requesting a loan.
Very well. Here are the general terms of our loan policies. We pride ourselves in having the lowest interest rate in the country for personal loans.
I see. So let me get this straight. If I borrow, let's say, $10,000, how much will I have to pay each month?
It depends on how long you take to pay it back. If we lend you $10,000 at an annual interest rate of 10% for 48 months, you would have to pay each month a portion of the loan, which is called the principal, and another small portion of the annual interest rate. This, of course, is considering that you don't default on a payment.
It sounds good, but there's just one problem. I have a terrible credit score.
That is a very serious problem, you see. The bank must assess your personal information, past loans, assets, and any other relevant information, such as your credit score, in order to approve your loan.
You know what? I don't really need the money. Thanks anyways.
All right, we're back. So now why don't we take a look at 3 key phrases on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Let me get this straight. We're going to do Fluency Builder?
That's right.
Wait. So, okay, so this is our first phrase. Let me get this straight. And this is a fixed phrase. That means we always say it the same way. Mm-hmm. Wait, let me get this straight. We always say it the same way?
Right, so you're asking for a confirmation, or you're repeating what that person said just to be sure that it's correct.
Exactly. So maybe you don't understand something, or maybe you think you might have misunderstood. Mm-hmm. You say, hey, so let me get this straight. And you repeat what the person just said. Mm-hmm. It's a way for you to, like you say, get confirmation on what you've heard.
Very good. Let me get this straight. And now moving on, we have the phrase, pay it back. You have to pay it back.
Okay, and so in this case, we have the verb to pay, but we also have the word back. So pay it back means to repay. Mm-hmm. So if we take out a loan, we obviously have to pay it back to the bank.
Right, so you have to pay the loan back.
Okay, so just remember that these words often go together, to pay it back. I'll pay you back, I promise.
Right, can you lend me $1? I'll pay you back tomorrow.
Don't worry about it.
All right, and the bank started off saying, we pride ourselves in having the lowest interest rate in the country.
Yeah, right.
All right, so we pride ourselves. What does it mean if I pride myself in something?
The word pride means to be really happy about something that has to do with yourself. So something that you're proud of is something that you want to tell a lot of other people about. So, for example, a father may say, my son just got straight A's and he's an excellent soccer player. And so he's proud of his son. But to pride oneself means to be really happy with the way that you do something.
Right. So, for example, if I've never smoked, right? So I can say, I pride myself in being a non-smoker.
Or I could say, I pride myself in always saving lots of money for my paycheck.
Very good.
So it means I try to do this because I know it's a good thing.
But you feel very good about this, and you feel that, people should be proud of you as well.
So we could ask our students here, what do you pride yourselves in as a challenge?
As a challenge for the website. All right, so why don't we listen to the dialogue for the last time, and we'll be back.
Hello, sir. May I help you?
Yes, I would like some information for requesting a loan.
Very well. Here are the general terms of our loan policies. We pride ourselves in having the lowest interest rate in the country for personal loans.
I see. So let me get this straight. If I borrow, let's say, $10,000, how much will I have to pay each month?
It depends on how long you take to pay it back. If we lend you $10,000 at an annual interest rate of 10% for 48 months, you would have to pay each month a portion of the loan, which is called the principal, and another small portion of the annual interest rate. This, of course, is considering that you don't default on a payment.
It sounds good, but there's just one problem. I have a terrible credit score.
That is a very serious problem, you see. The bank must assess your personal information, past loans, assets, and any other relevant information, such as your credit score, in order to approve your loan.
You know what? I don't really need the money. Thanks anyways.
All right, very good. So as you say, saving is important, and well, sometimes do you think you need a loan?
I think sometimes people need loans because they want to go into business, for example. So people who want to go into small businesses or open their own companies need startup capital. And so this is a really great example of when people don't have the money lying around and will go to find a bank that will give them a loan.
So yeah, I think it's really important, especially for the economy of a country, for business loans or small business loans to be available, because sometimes it's very difficult to find a bank that will actually lend a person money to start a business. Usually they won't have a problem with lending them money to buy a new car.
Right.
But to start up a business, it's completely the opposite.
It is. And one of the really popular trends in foreign investment right now is called micro-lending. So microloans. And that means that if I want to help people in a very poor country, I can lend $100 for someone to buy a sewing machine or for someone to buy a small computer, $500 for a small computer, and that is a microloan. It's a very, very small loan for one thing, and that can help them towards their goal of being a business person.
Right, and you're not really getting money out of it, though. You're not charging like 100% interest rate.
You're not. You're charging like 1 or 2% interest, very low interest, and you're giving people a chance to pay the money back because it's such a small amount.
Wow, that's really good. A really positive thing. Very good. So if you have any questions, any comments, or any suggestions, please come to our website at englishpod.com, and we'll see you guys there.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Percentage of the money paid to you by the bank. Interest rate. Common rules listed in an agreement. General terms. Measure. Calculate. Credit score.
Let's try that faster.
Measure. Calculate. Common rules listed in an agreement. General terms. Credit score. Percentage of the money paid to you by the bank. Interest rate.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Calculate. I have calculated the interest rate, and things are starting to look better. Calculate. Give me a moment to calculate your salary for this month. Calculate. Someone at work miscalculated my salary, and now I have to wait for another month to get paid. Credit score. I have a perfect credit score. There is no way I'm not getting this loan. Credit score. I forgot to pay my credit card bill, and now my credit score is compromised. Credit score. I really hope this doesn't ruin my credit score. Interest rate. This interest rate is insane. Interest rate. I wish I could get a loan with a lower interest rate. Interest rate. The bank's interest rate is lower than it used to be last month. General terms. I can help you understand this topic in general terms. I'm not so familiar with the details. General terms. In general terms, your behavior must improve, or else we will have to let you go. General terms. He explained some complicated science, but only in general terms. I forgot to read the fine print, and now I'm in trouble. Please make sure you read the fine print before you sign any document. I just read something in the fine print I don't completely understand. Can you explain?